When Subaru launched its Levorg wagon in mid-2016, it was pitched at SUV Rejectors. These folks are an endangered species, as evidenced by the Levorg's humble sales tally, 695 to date in 2017, compared with the stablemate Forester SUV's 8695. It makes no sense. There are some seriously good wagons out there, including VW Golf and Passat, Ford Mondeo, Mazda 6, Skoda Octavia and Superb, that are sharply priced, will drive the wheels off most comparable SUVs and have similar, or greater, interior space but, like the Levorg, they battle for buyers. Subaru wants to improve the Levorg's appeal with a new 1.6-liter turbo base model GT, which we're testing, priced at $35,990. Value. That price is $7,250 cheaper than the previous starting price for the Levorg, which launched with just one all-wheel drive setup with a 2.0-liter turbo and continuously variable transmission, as used in the Wrx. This continues in two Levorg variants, the 2.0 GTS, at $49,190, and a new range topper 2.0 Sti Sport. Both are pucka performance wagons, with Bilstein suspension, revised to improve body control and ride comfort on our bumpy roads, and other sporty accoutrements that could almost justify a Wrx badge on the tailgate. A different drive altogether, the 1.6 produces a lot less power, 125 kilowatts, and is tuned for everyday flexibility, economy, refinement and comfort. CVT is standard. The GT includes Subaru's EyeSight twin-camera safety tech with radar, and conventional, cruise control, 6.2-inch infotainment touchscreen, Bluetooth, but no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto compatibility, voice control, 5 USB ports, including 2 for rear passengers, dual-zone aircon, data identification, 16-inch alloy wheels and swiveling LED headlights. The GT 1.6 Premium, at $42,890, is fruitier, with equivalent specification to the 2.0 GTS, Bilstein suspension, 18-inch alloys, leather, sunroof, 7.0-inch touchscreen, navigation, heated sports front seats and radar-based safety tech with blind spot monitoring, lane keeping and rear cross-traffic alert. Comfort. The cloth-upholstered driver's seat in the GT has basic manual adjustments and is comfortable enough, though unsupportive when cornering. Ample seat and steering wheel travel accommodates all drivers. I'll spare you my usual detailed rant about Subaru's confusing, uncoordinated dash and control layout. The small touchscreen is distracting and dangerous to use while driving, and voice control has very limited comprehension of English. A low rear bench is under-padded. Legroom is adequate. The new 40-20-40 split-fold backrest is useful, but there are no vents and the center sash belt spools out of the roof, so it's fiddly to use. Basically a Wrx body with a wagon rear end, the Levorg has a boot with 67L greater volume than the Forester, in 5-seater mode. Low, wide and easy to load, its floor can be extended at the flick of a switch, on either side of the boot opening, to give you a flat 1.8 m. Safety. The EyeSight tech can be overvigilant and annoying in traffic, particularly the forward collision and lane departure warnings. You can turn them off and probably will. There are also automatic emergency braking for vehicles and pedestrians, efficient adaptive cruise, plus an alert when you're stationary and the vehicle in front of you starts to move, handy for those idiots who can't leave their phones alone. Swiveling headlights are a great safety feature on narrow country roads. Driving. The new 1.6 turbo CVT combination shines in everyday driving and long-distance work, with strong, tractable performance over most of the rev range, exceptional refinement and reasonable fuel economy, 10L11L/100 km in town and 6L7L/100 km on the highway. Intelligent mode maximizes fuel efficiency at the expense of responsiveness. The 1.6 feels more energetic in sport mode and the CVT kicks in much more quickly, though compared with a conventional auto there is still a delay, especially when you plant the accelerator. It responds much better to a gentle squeeze. The GT's smaller wheels, taller tires and softer suspension than other variants contribute to a comfortable, quiet ride, but the suspension is underdamped, so body control isn't as disciplined as it should be. The nose can pitch and bounce on undulations, and on big hits the front end runs out of travel. The brakes also will fade under hard use. That said, as long as you don't try to drive it like a WRX, the GT sits securely on the road and flows nicely through corners, with a low center of gravity, accurate, intuitive steering and loads of grip, thanks to quality rubber and all-wheel drive. It's certainly a more enjoyable, agile, sporty drive than most comparably priced SUVs.
A four-door sedan for the boy racer inside all of us, the 2018 WRX gets a couple new performance touches to make it a little better than last year's rumbling rally-bred rocket. The 2018 Subaru WRX isn't as rapid as the wing-rocking Wrx Sti, but it manages to avoid feeling watered down. It's a respectable and right-priced performance option in its own right. 2018 brings subtle changes, some all but invisible, heated exterior mirrors, and others, like a standard sport design instrument cluster and available performance seats and brakes, that enhance its look and on-road feel. Is the WRX a toned-down STI, or is the STI a hopped-up WRX? I spent 1,100 miles or so in this car, driving to and from the incredible Duncan Imports JDM Paradise in southwestern Virginia, and I can't say for sure. I do know one thing, it's very easy to live with, but still a hoot to push. If me saying that hardly seems like a revolutionary statement, well, remember that this is only a modest model year update. Still, steering and brakes are links ahead of what you're going to get on a standard issue subby, and the 2.0-liter provides adequate power in a distinctive feeling configuration that's good clean fun to rev up and launch. And it won't beat you up, even with a surprisingly comfy Recars. Can you say the same thing about the WRX Sti, which is even sharper, but even harsher, on road? Depends on your mental age and your tolerance for the occasional bone-rattling bump. But the WRX manages to be a kinder, gentler car that's still a blast to drive on twisting back roads. It doesn't feel like a diluted version, or a compromised form of the car you actually want to get. It's different, not inferior, a well-tempered, if somewhat noisy inside, expressway cruiser that still appreciates the road less traveled. Fortunately, there are a lot of good mountain roads between Detroit and Virginia, and I took the time to explore a tiny sampling. They're the kind of roads where you can't spend much time glancing at the speedometer or the tachometer, which is just fine because you're not going to be going all that fast, and the flat 4-6-speed combo is intuitive enough to make staying on the power a cinch. Looked at another way, this is arguably a purer interpretation of the WRX concept. It's a hopped-up version of a relatively pedestrian civilian-grade sedan, but there are no switches to toggle, no modes to fool around with. Just hop in and go, as mildly or aggressively as you'd like. The WRX Sti can be fine-tuned to meet the demands of the moment, but I do like the simplicity of this one, its less aggressive cousin. Will you notice that you're down half a liter of displacement over the Sti? Sure, if you're familiar with the hotter car. The overall experience is less intense but probably easier to live with day to day. But the competition, how does it compare? Though we've acknowledged Subaru's recent interior design and quality improvement push, which has seen hard plastics replaced with nicer feeling materials, I'd still give the in-cabin edge to the competition. That's no reason to write this well-executed driver off your list, though. More fundamentally, the WRX sits in an interesting position, because it gets AWD just like the Wrx Sti. With the Ford Focus Street RS and the Volkswagen Golf GTIR, the junior car gets front-wheel drive and the more powerful car is AWD. Then there's the Honda Civic lineup, which offers only FWD whether you're talking C or Type R. Point is, it's a good time to be looking for slick, capable and relatively affordable performance cars. They all have different characters and are guided by different design and engineering philosophies. You'll need a test drive to figure out which one best suits you.